Is it a right triangle? That's the title for today. Okay, so get your notes out and call it, is it a right triangle? We need to show that c squared is indeed equal to b squared, sorry, a squared plus b squared. That's how you know, okay? So if I give you a triangle, right, for all intents and purposes, it kind of looks like a right triangle, but we don't know yet, okay? So, so let's say this is 9 inches, this is 12 inches, and this is 15 inches. So all three sides will be given to you, right? You know right there that there's no side to be found. So you're not going to use the Pythagorean theorem for that. What you are going to do is you're going to label the longest side out of the three. You're going to label that one C, hypotenuse, right? This is the one we suspect is the hypotenuse because it's the longest, right? Longest side. And then these ones we call A and B. Okay. And then you plug it in. You actually say c squared is supposed to be a squared plus b squared, right? That's what technically that's what the Pythagorean theorem says. But it only works for right triangles. So let's plug the 15 in, square it. A is equal to 9. We'll put 9 in and square it. B is equal to 12. Plug in 12 and square it. And now use your calculator to do the rest, right? So this is 15 times 15, right? Is it 265? I always forget. Oh, it's 225. 225 is equal to 9 squared is 81. 12 squared is 144. 225 is equal to, let's add this up, and you should get 225. So yes, triangle is a right triangle. Or you can just say, yes, it is a right triangle if you want. So we go back in here, and as we suspected, the only location for that 90-degree angle would have to be here because it has to be across the longest side. Triangle has sides 3.6 centimeters, 4.9 centimeters, and 6.3 centimeters. Is it a right triangle? Question mark. So no diagram, this is just information given to you. Just grab a loose leaf and write this down, okay? triangle has sides 3.6, 4.9, 6.3. Is it a right triangle? So 6.3 centimeters is the longest side. Therefore, we're going to call C is equal to 6.3 centimeters. Let A be 3.6 centimeters and B will be the 4.9 centimeters. But you got to make sure that C is your longest side. You're suspecting that that's your hypotenuse, okay? So we use this again. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. So you're putting the 6.3 in here, you square that. You put the 3.6 in for A, you square that. You put the 4.9 in for B, you square that. And they have to be exactly the same, both sides. This is the left-hand side of the equal sign. This is the right-hand side of the equal sign. Both numbers have to be exactly the same. And it's only then when you know it's a right triangle. That's actually how they sometimes check if walls are square. Like if they build walls and they want to make sure those walls are square, they will measure the diagonal from corner to corner, and they'll actually do Pythagorean theorem. They'll measure that wall, this wall, and the diagonal, which is a right, technically it's a right triangle. If it doesn't add up to this, there's something wrong. Okay? So 6.3 squared, I'm going to square that. That gives me 39.69. So write down the whole thing. 3.6 squared, 12.96. 4.9 squared, 24.01. Next step is to add these up. So copy down the 3969, and then we add up these two numbers, and you get 36.97. And this is what you're going to do here. Obviously, they're not the same. You're going to cross it because they're not the same. Not a right triangle. So basically, summary, a squared, sorry. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. If left-hand side is equal to right-hand side, then you have a right triangle. Oops, you can't see that, can you? If left-hand side is not equal to right-hand side, it is not a right triangle. That's basically to summarize what we just done. So obviously the second example, left-hand side was not equal to right-hand side, so it was not a right triangle. And so now you're gonna grab the same worksheet I gave you yesterday and do 1 to 6. Do 1 to 6 in the worksheet, on that worksheet that I gave you. If you don't know which one I'm talking about, it was posted yesterday and it looks like this. Just one quick look here. It looks like that. It's a booklet, okay? It's folded. So go ahead and do that, and then we will go over some of them, and we'll continue my lesson.